Hi, this is Mary from Teacher's Pet Dog Training. This is part 2 of my 3-part engagement training series with Jessie, an 18-month-old Border Collie. We are introducing Jessie to an agility jump, and this is the first time I'm working with her. I had no idea when I started the training how she would react to the jump, and soon discovered that she was very reluctant to approach the upright standards, which is typical of many dogs. The mistake many handlers make is that they view the jump as no big deal and will force the dog to do something they feel uncomfortable with. They fail to see this obstacle from their dog's perspective. We need to respect the dog and move forward when the dog tells us to, not when we want them to. So this is a great training opportunity for Jessie to increase her trust in me as her handler. Through reward-based training, we are developing a character trait in Jessie to have the confidence to try new things. Our goal is to create a dog that is eager to attempt new situations with us and respond without hesitation to our requests. This can only be done if we handle these early situations carefully, not pushing or forcing her to perform, but rather by rewarding her decisions to do so on her own. This is what we call creating an active learner, a dog willing to offer behaviors or to try new things.
So the first thing I do is I make sure that I take the pole down and I just see if I can get her to come through here without being afraid. I'll pay her. Good girl. So you can see she's a little unsure. You don't force it. She comes back. Yes. I'm going to pay her for being in proximity to kind of this new novel thing right here. So I make myself low and inviting. I don't pressure her in any way. She chooses to come over and investigate it. I mark and I reward. So what we're paying her for is small increments of getting closer to this thing in the environment that could be scary for her. This is something she's never seen before. And now I'm just sort of staying a little bit closer to this thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop a few treats near the thing, and I'm going to let her nose do some work. So here, I'm going to throw a few of these little lamb treats out, and she's going to be able to just use her nose while she's getting a few treats, and she's going to see that this thing isn't going to get her. But you can see by her body language, she's leaning into it a bit. It's still something that's uncomfortable for her because it's something new in the environment. But I'm not forcing her to be near this thing. In fact, I'm just letting her nose do the work for me right now. And I'm making being in that area something that becomes a positive thing. So it doesn't become something that's forced or scary. It's something that she now, and you'll start to watch as she hangs out there longer, you'll see now her proximity to it is getting closer. One of the biggest mistakes is people that start agility, day one they're trying to get their dogs over a jump, and the dogs are terrified. And now they have been classically conditioned to feel afraid of it instead of feeling good about being in or around it. So we're actually conditioning her brain to feel good in and around this little jump. I may even be able to coax her at some point where she would come over to that. In and around it, good things happen. Yummy. Look at the. Again, I want to really point out that this in and of itself would be a session. We don't try to push. If she happens to go closer to it, now she's actually putting her nose on it. Now she's crossing over the barrier, but this is all her choosing to do this. I would not try to push her into making her do this, or we could actually regress from the work that we're trying to get her more and more confident and comfortable around this piece of equipment. And notice again, I'm using the long line so that I still have her safe, but she's getting to make choices now. All by herself, she just crossed over that bar. So I moved away from it so that I didn't create any type of pressure, because even my own presence could create pressure where she might think that I might try to make her do something with this, because I've only worked with her just today. So me moving away took off some of that social pressure of having to be in her bubble. Good girl. Oh my goodness, look at you. Good girl. So I put a few more treats out. Now she's crossing. Yes. Crosses over. Now she's doing this. You can see by her body language. She's more relaxed. She's not as concerned and leaning her head out and keeping the rest of her body back. So here she's actually straddling it without too much discomfort. And again, I just keep making it positive. I throw some treats on that side. Let's see if, again, we're letting her nose do all of the work. And again, one of the key things we want is we want a dog who is pushy. We want a dog who's really invested in the learning and is really wanting to be interactive. We don't want a dog who shuts down and gets cautious. We want that active learner versus a dog who only will work when we're telling them to do something because they're afraid to make any other moves for fear of getting punished or getting the word no, or they're a little apprehensive because they're unsure, they don't know what we want, and we think they know what they want, and then we start punishing them. Then we get a dog who's afraid. They're afraid to just be an active learner and say, oops, I made a mistake, but I'm going to try again. And all I'm trying to get from Jess right now is that Jess is willing to be in or around this new apparatus that she's never probably seen in her entire life. And again, in the beginning, you could see she was a little concerned about it. Now we have her, she crosses over, I'm going to mark with the word yes, and I'm going to feed her. I'm going to lure her here. Yes. So there I just used my luring skills to get her to move over this little hurdle. So again here, I'm going to use my luring skills, and as she moves forward, yes, I mark with the word yes and I feed her. So now we've gone from her being afraid of being sort of close to it to now I can use my luring skills to get her to come across it. So I have a piece of food in my hand, I move forward with her, she comes forward, I say, she comes across, yes, and I mark. So I'm marking the moment that she's doing the thing that I'm going to pay her for. And now she's not afraid of this. If she was afraid of this, I would not be doing this, because then we would get what we call trainer's greed. Oh, I want my dog to go over this right now. Well, it's not about what we want, it's about what she's ready for. I'm going to use my luring skills. Yes. And anything in proximity, I will pay her for. Yes. Over. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. Yes. Over. She went around, no big deal. I'm going to pay her right now because this is all so new. I don't want this to become a scary thing for her. So we just introduced this, so we're not going to push it. I want that active learner. I don't want a dog that then says, oh no, you said no and now I'm scared, and she's not quite there yet for me to be putting in any type of a non-reinforcement marker or punishment marker. Over. Yes. Over. Yes. So this time I didn't lure her. I just paid her for going over. The moment she went over, started to go over, I marked with the word yes, over. Here she's foraging a little bit. Remember, I put things out in the beginning so that she wouldn't be afraid. Over. Yes. Good girl. Good job, Jess. Over. Yes. Good. Good girl. Very good. Very good. You can see she's almost anticipating that we're going to do this. Over. Yes. Nice job. You can see this is an active learner, right? Yes. That was anticipating what the next move was, right? So now she's starting to put it all together. Over. Yes. Now she's starting to understand what she's getting payment for. See? Good girl. Now notice that I have moved away from being in the middle, so she's keeping a close eye on where my body is too. And my luring skills are important here. Over. So that she learns to go through the poles, the uprights, even though I'm on the outside, because ultimately we want to be able to say over, yes, and then she does her over. But there has to be something in this for her in order for this to become a strong behavior. So I want this behavior to become really strong. You ready? So I'm going to feed her in place first where the position that I want her to start in, which is right there. positive for her right here. Start her in the position that I want her in.